Okay, thank you, Vice Chair. I'm here on SB 561, and I want to thank the committee staff for your work. I gladly accept the committee's amendments. SB 561 will ensure the safe disposal of pyrotechnic marine flares and other similar emergency distress signals. The U.S. Coast Guard requires vessels that are larger than 16 feet that are operating on oceans to carry approved visual distress signals for use in emergencies. While there are battery-powered alternatives, many boaters carry 3 pyrotechnic flares because of their increased visibility during the day. Flares expire 42 months after manufacture, meaning that they then no longer satisfy Coast Guard requirements. Because they can no longer be used for their intended purpose and they are reactive and ignitable based on their safety data sheets, the U.S. EPA classifies expired flares as hazardous waste under the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, which is called RCRA. Additionally, expired flares are considered more explosive than new flares by the U.S. Department of Transportation. Because expired marine flares are both hazardous waste and explosive, they cannot be disposed of in the trash or even in most household hazardous waste facilities due to lack of special permits. Alameda County is the only county in California that we have found that actively accepts these flares, but even they lack the permits necessary to actually dispose of the flares. As far as we know, there are only 3 facilities in the country that currently accept flares for disposal, and none are in California. Boaters in coastal communities across the state are frustrated by the complete lack of disposal options, with some stockpiling them or illegally disposing of them in the trash or in the ocean. Expired flares have also been abandoned in front of local government buildings such as police or fire stations or left on docks. Local governments then become responsible for arranging proper transportation and disposal of flares. Costs can be high, as much as $185 per flare because of a relatively few number of flares that need disposal and very high fixed transportation costs. SB 561 shifts responsibility for those costs to manufacturers and the boaters who use them, instead of costs being borne by local governments and society as a whole. A strategic collection program under SB 561 would take advantage of economies of scale and significantly reduce the disposal cost per flare. In fact, a 2019 collection event saw costs of less than $13 per flare, roughly the price of a new flare. Given that boaters need 3 new flares every 3 years, the additional cost of $13 is frankly acceptable. SB 561 creates a more comprehensive program scope and ensures DTSC can fully enforce this legislation. I'm committed to continuing to work with the manufacturer, Orion, to ensure program requirements are fair while maintaining adequate oversight and accountability. This bill is supported by a broad coalition of stakeholders, including local governments, California professional firefighters, waste haulers, and environmental and public health organizations. With me today, I have Heidi Sanborn on behalf of the National Stewardship Action Council as co-sponsor of this bill, and Leslie Lucas on behalf of Zero Waste Sonoma, also a co-sponsor of this bill.
Thank you. We will now move to our witnesses in support. You have 2 minutes each. Thank you.
Thank you very much, members. I'm Heidi Sanborn with the National Stewardship Action Council, a nonprofit that advocates for a responsible circular economy. We're here as a proud co-sponsor of SB 561 with Zero Waste Sonoma to finally address the lack of marine flare disposal options available for Californians. I've been hearing about the lack of marine flare disposal options literally for the 25 years I've been working with household hazardous waste facilities, and it's time to right the ship, pun intended. It's been a long day. Improper disposal threatens sanitation worker safety. In a video I'm happy to share via email, we actually watched where a waste worker in the UK picked up a marine flare, it went off in his hand, and it flew around his head, and we can show you it literally went right by his face. And that's what happens when people don't know what to do with these flares. And as I said in an earlier testimony, the Bureau of Labor Statistics has listed sanitation agency workers as the 4th most deadly profession now. And it's in a large part due to these hazardous products that end up in the waste stream. Alameda, as was said, is the only county in California that has the metal magazine that can control and store marine flares safely. And installing these are expensive and take a special permit with fencing and a special distance from other buildings. Due to the lack of infrastructure, the household hazardous waste facilities, the Coast Guard offices, the fire departments, and sheriff departments have all reported across the state that they have had to turn people away who come to them trying to bring the flares and do the right thing, but they don't have the secure locations to keep them. So we know that people are out doing whatever they can think to do. And with no solution, they resolve to dissolving them in buckets of water and throwing them in the trash. That is one testimony we've heard. Setting them off in the 4th of July, which is, by the way, a felony. Storing them on their boats or in garages or dumping them into the environment. These are all things that we've documented. And I was told by a Marine safety officer at a presentation I did last year on this bill up in Tahoe that he literally takes them from residents that don't know what to do, and at the 4th of July, he brings them to the fireworks people that do the big fireworks show and asks them to take them, and he doesn't know if they ever say no what he's going to do with them. Local jurisdictions have already held at least 9 pilot projects and collection events, and they're mostly funded by the Household Hazardous Waste grants from CalRecycle. And the data is publicly available and has been provided to Orion, the manufacturer of these flares. Through these projects, the lowest cost was $10.55 a flare in Alameda County. A statewide program will provide more efficiencies of scale and will significantly reduce our transportation costs by allowing for a milk run. So we just sincerely thank you for considering this bill and hope we can get it done this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Senator Blakespear and members of the committee. My name is Leslie Lukash, and I am the Executive Director of Zero Waste Sonoma, a government joint powers authority representing 9 cities and a town in Sonoma County, as well as the county. We serve approximately 500,000 residents. Zero Waste Sonoma is a proud co-sponsor of SB 561, which addresses a significant waste management challenge affecting California's coastline communities, including Sonoma County, which has 76 miles of coastline. Counties in California are required to execute a state-approved plan for managing household hazardous waste. Zero Waste Sonoma operates 1 HHW facility and is in the process of building a second one at an estimated cost of $15 million. Managing and properly disposing of HHW is expensive, costing our agency roughly $2 million per year. Marine flares are a critical gap in HHW management programs. Zero Waste Sonoma, like fire stations and police departments, are not allowed to accept this material because they are explosive. And often they are dropped off at our facility or at the front of police stations and fire stations. So one boater wrote to me stating, "There's literally nowhere to dispose of expired marine flares in our county." He went on to say that many boaters that he knows soak them in water until they disintegrate, then dispose of the remnants in household garbage or waterways, a dangerous and environmentally harmful practice. Improper disposal of marine flares in the trash and recycling poses a serious hazard to waste and recycling workers. In 2023, Zero Waste Sonoma shipped just 2 5-gallon buckets of marine flares to Louisiana for proper disposal, a process where we partnered with 2 other counties to share the cost. Even with this partnership, disposal of those 2 buckets of flares cost $185 per flare, over 12 times the cost of the purchase of 1 flare. However, managing costs of this product does not need to be that high. As Heidi mentioned, Alameda's cost was less than $11 per flare using economies of scale. A producer-funded statewide collection program would provide boaters with a safe, cost-effective, accessible, and convenient disposal option while reducing environmental and public health risks. So thank you.
Wrap up your comments.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. So we will now move to any support we have in the room. Please state your name, your organization, and your position only. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Courtney Scott with Zero Waste Sonoma, the proud co-sponsor, and I have a list of entities that would like to support this. Atrium 916, Ban Single-Use Plastic, Friends Committee on Legislation of California, Heal the Bay, Merced County Regional Waste Management Authority, Plastic Pollution Coalition, San Francisco Baykeeper, Sonoma County Fire Division, California Teamsters, The Last Plastic Straw, Zero Waste Strategies, and Seventh Generation Advisors.
Good afternoon. I'm Amanda Bloom, representing the California Association of Environmental Health Administrators, as well as the Coupa Forum Board, in support of the bill. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Michael Caprio with Republic Services, here in support. Jordan Wells on behalf of the California State Association of Counties in support. Thank you.
Gabriela Facio with Sierra Club California in support.
Clifton Wilson on behalf of the California Product Stewardship Council, Stop Waste, and the Solid Waste Association of North America, all in support. Thank you.
Melissa Sparks-Crans with the League of California Cities, as well as on behalf of the Rural County Representatives of California in support.
Michelle Rualgaba on behalf of Waste Management in support.
Erica Parker with Californians Against Waste in support.
Keely Morris with Edelstein, Gilbert, Robeson, and Smith on behalf of the Los Angeles County Sanitation Districts in support.
Noah Melroy on behalf of Rethink Waste in support.
Thank you. We'll now move to any key witnesses in opposition. If you'll please make room for, thank you. Thank you. You'll have 2 minutes each. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Madam Chair and members. Jim Lights on behalf of Orion Safety Products. The committee analysis points out that an EPR is designed to create shared responsibility for end-of-life product disposal. The challenge that we have here that we've been sharing for well over a year now is there is no one else to share this responsibility with. Orion is the only manufacturer of marine flares for recreational boaters in the United States, and the DTSC cost to stand up this program exceeds their gross annual sales in the state of California. It's a very, very small market. And so we have wanted to work with the author to figure out the data to create a program that is appropriate for the size of this economic marketplace. A lot of the compliance provisions within the bill also create costs that could, basically double what the state cost is. And that's why we think that there's just not enough of a product marketplace here to support an EPR. This product really needs a dedicated, more focused type of collection and disposal program that we are happy to work with the author to try and achieve, but we are opposed to the current language, which is basically largely the bill that the governor vetoed 6 months ago.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair and members. Mark Smith on behalf of the National Marine Manufacturers Association. We are also opposed to the bill for some of the reasons previously stated. We're the National Trade Association representing recreational boating industry, including 1,300 marine businesses across the country. A couple statistics. Here in California, recreational boating and fishing drives a $17.3 billion impact, supports over 48,000 jobs and 2,000 businesses. With 750,000 registered boats, California is the second largest boating state in the nation. We have a tremendous coastline. We have all these streams, lakes, and rivers. Recreation on boats is a pastime of Californians. I think our concern here is that from a safety perspective, eliminating flares from the marketplace puts our recreational boaters at risk. I did bring a prop with me today, and I'm going to turn it on. You do not need your solar eclipse glasses or anything else to take a look at it, but I want to demonstrate to you why these products are not allowed in daytime use and their ineffectiveness in nighttime use. Okay, so this basically looks like the light on the back of your cell phone.
All right, sir, it's understood. If you could put that down, please. Thank you.
I'm a boater myself. I go out in the ocean. I would not trust my life to this product. I recognize that it is a product that is available for sale and purchase in the state of California, has been approved under certain circumstances. But when we're talking about eliminating an entire product marketplace, as has been pointed out by the manufacturer, I think that raises some significant concerns for the people who rely on these products for their health and well-being, their personal safety. The last thing I want to address is that 61% of boat owners have an annual household income of less than $75,000. Boating is not for the rich. Boating is not for the famous. You see it on TV, but the majority of people that own boats have these household incomes that are going to be impacted by significant increases in the
Could you
cost
please wrap
of
up your
purchasing these products. As the data has stated, the cost is significant. It is more than $10 a flare. Appreciate being able to offer testimony today. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any opposition in the room? State your name, your organization, and your position. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair and members. Not actually in opposition or support, but with the recreational boaters of California, not in a position to support the bill at this time, but encouraging the dialogue to come up with a program that is actually cost effective, is not a full-blown extended producer responsibility program, so that the take-back program of these flares can be affordable and not drive up the costs unnecessarily. And we're working with the author proponents and opponents. Thank you.
Reminder.
Madam Chair, members, Bo Biller on behalf of the Marine Recreation Association, and we're going to attach our comments to those of Jerry from the Recreational Boaters and the National Marine Manufacturers. We often work together for the recreational boating community and appreciate working with the author on this. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now bring comments to the committee. Senator Gonzalez.
Just want to say thanks to the author, and I know you'll look forward to, I look forward for you to continue working with the opposition, especially the marine recreational community. Got lots across the state and of course in Long Beach and Catalina, and would love to see some movement on both ends to make sure it's certainly affordable for all. Thank you very much.
Any other comments from the committee? I will just echo the comments from Senator from Long Beach, and I'm looking forward to you working with the opposition in the future. I will be supporting your bill today. And do I have a motion? Oh, would you like to close?
Yes, thank you. Yes, we will. We are, our door is always open. We're looking for the right solution here. We want it to be affordable. We also recognize that we have an end-of-life problem with marine flares. And it's interesting because on the plastic packaging side, SB 54, the fact that there are so many producers is the problem. So, you know, in a way, working with one producer can simplify things because it's clear who the producer is. But also just to make sure that it's clear that this is not a ban on marine flares, so people won't be forced to use that type. This is an extended producer responsibility for marine flares. And with that, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator. Do you have a motion? Senator Gonzalez? The motion is do pass as amended to judiciary. Secretary, please call the roll.
Senators Blakespear? Blakespear, aye. Valladares? Aye. Valladares, aye. Daly? Daly, aye. Gonzalez? Gonzalez, aye. Hurtado? Hurtado, aye. Minjavar? Minjavar, aye. Padilla? Padilla, aye. Perez? Perez, aye. 7-0.
There are 7 ayes, 0 noes. That is out.
It's 8-0.
Is it 8?